Hello then, thank you for staying with us right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. This is a World News at 6. My name is Esther Wachiku. First off, the top stories. President Trump of the United States permanently revokes Wole Soyinka's U.S. visa. WAEC denies restricting subjects for 2026 WASC candidates. Senate makes U-turn, schedules screening of new service chiefs to Wednesday. Terrorists threaten to bomb National Assembly. Nigerian Army raids Abuja residence of Buhari's former petroleum minister Timi Silva, arrest brother. Plane carrying foreign tourists crashes in Kenya. All passengers feared dead. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. The United States government under President Donald Trump has revoked Nobel laureate and internationally acclaimed writer Professor Wole Soyinka's visa to the United States. Soyinka disclosed this today at the Konge Harvest Gallery, Freedom Park, Lagos Island, where he addressed journalists on the issue. Noting that he was taken aback by the decision, Soyinka said he was unaware of any offense that could have led to the cancellation of his visa. He suggested that the action of the U.S. government was a witch hunt. According to him, he said, and I quote, "It is necessary for me to hold this conference so that people in the United States who are expecting me for this event or that event do not waste their time." The Nobel laureate further revealed that he had received formal notification of the visa withdrawal from the U.S. consulate, noting that he was now unable to travel to the country. He says, "I have no visa. I am banned, obviously, from the United States. If you want to see me, you know where to find me." According to him, the development was communicated through an official letter, though no specific reason was given for the action. According to him, he also disclosed, "I'm still looking into my past history. I don't have any past criminal record or even a felony or misdemeanor to qualify for the revocation." The professor added that he had been reflecting on whether any of his past actions might have triggered this decision by the United States. "I have started looking back. Have I ever misbehaved towards the United States of America? Do I have a history? Have I been convicted? Have I gone against the law anywhere?" End quote. Soyinka is one of Africa's most respected literary figures, has long maintained a strong relationship with the United States academic and literary community, making the revocation a surprise to many observers. Now, the West African Examination Council has dismissed reports alleging that it issued a directive restricting senior secondary students to specific subjects for the forthcoming 2026 West African Senior School Certificate Examination for school candidates. In a statement issued today by the acting head of public affairs, Muyoshola Adeshina, and signed on behalf of the head of national office, WAEC described the reports as unfounded assumptions and urged schools and the general public to disregard them. Amid recent social media reports suggesting that schools have been directed to limit student subject combinations for the 2026 examination, WAEC reiterated that such claims were false and not issued by the council. The examination body clarified that it does not issue directives concerning the development or modification of senior secondary curricula, as that responsibility lies solely with the federal government through relevant education authorities. It emphasized that WAEC's role was limited to implementing government-approved curricula through its examinations and that it operates strictly within the legal and operational framework set by the Nigerian government. Now, the Senate has brought forward the screening of the newly appointed service chiefs to Wednesday, October 29, reversing its earlier decision to conduct the exercise next week. The announcement came shortly after Senate President Godswill Akpabio read a correspondence from President Bola Tinubu seeking the confirmation of the appointment of the new Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, and the new service chiefs at plenary today. Akpabio explained that the change in schedule was necessary to enable the new military chiefs to assume duty without delay. President Tinubu in his letter said the nomination was made in accordance with the provisions of Section 18, subsection 1 of the Armed Forces Act Cap A20, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004. He urged the Senate to give expeditious consideration to the confirmation process to ensure continuity and effective coordination within the nation's security architecture. Following the revised schedule, the Senate Committee of the Whole is expected to conduct the screening exercise on Wednesday, the 29th of October 2025. Now, the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Internal Security, Honorable Garba Ibrahim Mohammed, has disclosed that terrorists have issued threats to bomb the National Assembly complex. Garba made the revelation today during a public hearing on a bill seeking to establish a legislative security directorate designed to enhance security management and safeguard workers, lawmakers, staff, and visitors within the National Assembly. He said, "We have received threats from terrorists to bomb the National Assembly complex and threats from protesters to lock up the National Assembly." The lawmaker said the legislature, Nigeria's seat of democracy, has been increasingly exposed to security threats, including car and motorcycle theft, vandalism, infiltration by unregistered visitors, and use of fake identity cards. He warned failure to address the lapses could disrupt legislative activities with grave implications for governance and democracy. According to Garba, effective security management requires a coordinated approach, integrating multiple elements to ensure a safe environment for legislative business, while acknowledging the need for the National Assembly to remain open to the public as a democratic institution. Garba stressed that access must not come at the expense of security. Now, thank you for staying with us. Some Nigerian army personnel have raided the Abuja residence of a former governor and former Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Mr. Timipar Silva, in connection with an alleged coup plot currently under investigation by the Defense Intelligence Agency. Multiple security sources confirmed to Sahara reporters earlier today that the army raid occurred at Sylvia's home in the Maitama area of Abuja. According to insiders, a special military team carried out the operation after intelligence linked the former South governor to secret meetings allegedly held with some of the detained officers. Another security insider said that while no official statement had been issued regarding the raid, the action was not random, but a direct response to intelligence linking certain political figures to the alleged plotters. This development comes amid growing tension within the armed forces. Also, exclusive report which was released about a week ago that at least 16 senior military officers had been detained incommunicado by the DIA over an alleged coup plot. The detained officers, drawn from the Army, Navy and Air Force, have been held for over 3 weeks in an undisclosed Abuja facility under what sources describe as unusual and suspicious conditions. Well, as it stands, 18 days ever since the 16 officers were detained in a supposed undisclosed location. The brothers who were kidnapped, others are considering the aspect of the federal government's continued detainment of these officers. Security analysts have questioned why the DIA, an intelligence agency under the Ministry of Defense, is spearheading the investigation instead of allowing each military service to handle its personnel internally, a move seen as highly political. Now, still on the world news at 6 at this very moment, the Edo State government has given its deputy governor 1 week ultimatum to return to state assets, while planning on screening is looking at possibilities of ensuring security across all the sectors of the Nigerian polity. As it stands, the federal government is reiterating its stance on transparency, inclusivity, and due process of law with the Nigerian sector. Now, the senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has approached the Federal High Court Abuja seeking the dismissal of the 6-count charge filed against her by the federal government. In a motion filed through her legal team, the lawmaker urged the court to strike out the case on the grounds that it was not in the public interest, but aimed at protecting the private and political interest of Akpabio as well as Bello. Also, the lawyers argued that the Attorney General of the Federation, in a recent development, acted contrary to the constitutional provisions guiding the exercise of prosecutorial powers under Sections 174, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. According to her, the section mandates the Attorney General of the Federation to act only in public interest, the interest of justice, and to prevent abuse of legal process. She insisted that her prosecution serves no public purpose and amounts to a gross abuse of legal authority. In an affidavit signed supporting her motion, Akpoti-Uduaghan claimed that the charges initiated on May 22, 2025 were filed in bad faith. She stressed that the alleged defamatory statements cited in the charge were directed at Akpabio and Bello in their personal capacities. The senator also attached several newspaper publications to her filings, describing them as public records that reveal the true nature of the Senate president. Unfortunately, an aircraft carrying 12 people crashed just minutes after takeoff from Diani airstrip in Kenya's coastal Kwale region early today, busting into flames and leaving all on board feared dead. Now, according to CNN, the official said the Cessna Caravan type plane operated by Mombasa Air Safari was en route to the Masai Mara National Reserve when it went down in a hilly and forested area about 40 kilometers from Diani airstrip. Kwale County Commissioner Stephen Orinde disclosed to Associated Press that the passengers were all foreign tourists and their nationalities would be confirmed later. According to the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, 12 people were on board the Cessna Caravan type aircraft and investigations are underway to determine the cause of the crash. The authorities added that details of the passengers and crew will be released after further verification. Witnesses said they heard a loud bang shortly after the plane took off, and upon rushing to the scene, they discovered the wreckage engulfed in flames with unrecognizable human remains. The airline Mombasa Air Safari said it was working closely with aviation authorities and that updates on the crash would be shared through the authority. The ill-fated flight was heading to the world-renowned Masai Mara National Reserve, a major tourist attraction known for its annual wild beast migration from Tanzania's Serengeti Plains. You're currently listening to the World News right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. We'll take a very short break. When we return, we'll obviously take more news and head into a news analysis segment. To kindly stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. The federal government has announced plans to scale up its direct cash transfer program to include more poor and vulnerable Nigerians. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wole Edu, announced the development while speaking at the Oxford Global Think Tank Leadership Conference and book launch in Abuja today. He explained that while progress has been made in stabilizing inflation and the exchange rate, more needed to be done to lift Nigerians out of poverty and ensure citizens feel the positive effects of ongoing economic reforms. He emphasized that the program is being implemented with transparency and accountability, supported by a digital verification system. Erdogan revealed that the federal government plans to expand the program to reach even more beneficiaries at the grassroots level as part of broader efforts to cushion the impact of economic reforms. He also announced a new ward-based development initiative aimed at channeling resources directly to Nigeria's 8,809 wards across 774 local government areas. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress in Plateau State has dared Governor Caleb Mutfwang to reveal the identity of those who pressured him to dump the People's Democratic Party and join the APC. Mr. Mutfwang had earlier claimed that he was pressured by some persons to leave the PDP for the APC. Mutfwang accused some APC figures of being afraid, saying many within the party would actually welcome him if he chose to defect to the party. Reacting to the governor's claim, the APC's acting publicity secretary in Plateau State, Shitu Bamai, stated that the noise over the governor's defection to APC would not have a reason if he performed to the people's satisfaction in the state. Bamai said if Governor Mutfwang meant well for his supporters and the entire state, he could have courageously told those who cared to listen who was pressuring him to defect to the All Progressives Congress. I currently have joining me via the telephone Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. He is a political, national and social affairs commentator. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid will be responding to some questions posed at him this evening. Barrister Tunji, good evening and thank you for joining us on the World News at 6. How are you, sir?
Good evening, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, sir, for actually staying on the line with us. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, I mean, there was a news that just broke out this evening, which is to the shock to quite a couple of Nigerians, and which is about President Donald Trump or the United States of America revoking a literary icon, Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka, and we know him as an internationally acclaimed writer. Now, Soyinka quickly organized a press conference where he disclosed at Kongi Harvest Gallery, Freedom Park, Lagos Island. He was addressing journalists there, and he said that he was actually taken aback by the decision while the United States of America would deny him his visa or possibly do a permanent ban on his visa from his entry into the country. He was shocked and he wondered why. He also asked those who may have been shuttling him for one event or the other for his presence to know that this is one of the reasons why he can't attend. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, a couple of Nigerians have said that this could be one of the situations occurring with the supposed Christian genocide. There are some U.S. parliamentarians who have been questioning some of the political elites in Nigeria as to their silence with the supposed genocide going on in some sections in the country. And there are fears that it could start like this by permanently or suspending them from having access to the United States. Some other persons felt that notable persons like Wole Soyinka, who were very vocal during the administration of former President Jonathan, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, how come they're no longer vocal about certain things ongoing in the country? Do you think it has any relation, or there is something Mr. Wole Soyinka may have done that he cannot remember he did? What's your take on this?
Firstly, let me say America is not Nigeria.
Okay.
Because when you said Donald Trump revoke, it's not Nigeria where the president would direct. It is the system that determines what happens, not in the. We are not in Nigeria where that directed. Okay. They would direct to do anything to anybody. So that should be taken. Secondly, I will not join in the speculation that this is the reason why he was the visa was revoked. Even Professor Soyinka himself said that he's not aware of the reason. He's surprised. So he's not aware of the reason why it was revoked. So any suggestion by me or by anybody regarding why it was revoked, one to speculation. Let's wait and see if there will be any further information.
He said, according to his statement today while he was addressing the press, he said that sometimes it could be something one has done, one has said, one has written, a publication, anything that could be contrary to what the United States believes. Can you hear me, sir? So he said that he cannot recall being part of anything, but there is an attention on some political elites very of late, actually. There are talks that the Donald Trump administration is focusing on some African countries, the cesspool of corruption ongoing, the insecurity ongoing, and there are talks that some politicians are involved in this. There are notable persons who have been expected to have spoken about it, but they have not been speaking. Do you think this is a targeted effort or a targeted instance by the US, or there is something untoward that nobody can actually pinpoint to the reason why Wole Soyinka's visa was permanently revoked to the United States?
I will maintain my stand to say, look, I will not join the speculation. For any reason given by anybody, or whatever reason anybody is giving, it's a speculation. Even the person that is affected said, I don't know what I've done. I don't know what has happened. So why should we be? And there's no reason in the letter according to him as to why it was revoked, and it was not even only him. So whichever reason, we are not aware. So I don't want to.
You said it was not only him. For now, we've not heard any other person whose visa has been revoked or permanently banned. But you just came for now.
When we become aware, and we are informed by it, then we cannot discuss it.
All right, let's look at a situation where the National Assembly recently got a threat by terrorists. Today, while they were sitting and reviewing, the House of Representative Committee on Internal Security, headed by Honorable Garba Ibrahim Muhammad, disclosed that terrorists have issued threats to bomb the National Assembly. He made the revelation during a public hearing on a bill seeking to establish Legislative Security Directorate. He had talked about the fact that they have been experiencing theft on the National Assembly complex, theft of bicycles, theft of vehicles as well, and he feels that certain strangers have been having access into the National Assembly, even if it's a place that people can have access to. Now, for him to have disclosed this, he's telling the general public, are they not supposed to communicate to the security agencies as to why or where that intelligence came from? What exactly do they want the public to do about that information at the National Assembly?
I wouldn't know why they are informing us. Because the issue of insecurity is not new in Nigeria. It's been happening everywhere. My state is being affected currently as we speak. Kwara State, I thank God for a while. For now, it has stopped for a while. I hope it will not come back again. So it's been happening everywhere, Tampara, Kashina, whatever.
No, I know, but the question is, he's saying that they have threatened to bomb the National Assembly. That is a seat of power. That's a seat of Nigeria's democracy.
I'm going there. I'm going there.
Okay.
If he's telling us that they are threatening, they've been trying to bomb everywhere. They've been taking action everywhere. That's where I'm going. And look, it's not new. It's also to tighten our security. It's fun that it's going to that level. If that is true, if they can have the mind of saying they will go to our National Assembly where the security is even a type, that means we should be more concerned that one day they will not say they are going to Asoro. I'm very sure maybe it's just a joke from those people. Maybe it's just an assumption by him, bearing in mind what is happening there, bearing in mind the number of people that are entering the National Assembly, bearing in mind maybe talking about lack of security within the National Assembly. I'm not sure they will be bold enough to say they are going to that. I would not take it for a lightly. We should be more concerned about it and do something. But what I'm saying is that the insecurity in Nigeria is not new, and it's not new to the National Assembly. It's been happening every other place. So if they're not able to take care of other people, other areas that happen, why should the National Assembly issue be more concerned? We should be more concerned now about that. So it should be we are all equal. Whether in my village or in the National Assembly, everybody is to be protected. That is the job of the government. Security is for everybody, and the responsibility of the government is to provide security for life and property of all Nigerians, not only people at National Assembly. Like I said, the serious threat, if it's true, and it should be a major concern because that means it's getting worse. That is what it means to me. And then that means the government. If that is true, that means the government should now the idea of we are now with security is now stable in the country, or we are now able to protect the security. That means it's not true. That means they've not done enough. That means there is need for them to do more to ensure that we don't have. I am very sure there will be more security in the National Assembly now. If we are to be one village in some way, they may ignore it. But this one will not be ignored.
The security chiefs are to be sworn in tomorrow. The security chiefs are to be screened tomorrow. Initially, they were meant to be screened next week, Wednesday. But today, the Senate decided to do the screening tomorrow. Tomorrow bring the 29th of October 2025. You said?
Screening or confirmation.
So yes, confirmation tomorrow that the president had asked them to expedite the process.
They just want to do their traditional approval. There is nothing like to screen. It's just to approve.
All right.
And give
okay. Now,
so I wish them the best of luck. I think they will come. They will be sworn in immediately, and then the work will start immediately. I will probably see what they will do differently.
All right, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, an exclusive from Sahara Reporters disclosed that some Nigerian army personnel raided the Abuja residence of a former governor and former Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Mr. Timipre Silva, in connection with an alleged coup plot, which is currently under investigation by the Defense Intelligence Agency. So, multiple security sources, according to Sahara Reporters, they have their own sources who have been giving them details. Remember, they were the one who broke this story about the alleged coup plot on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So they said today that the army raided Timipre Silva's home in the Maitama area of Abuja, and that it was conducted by a special military team. They carried out the operation after intelligence linked the former South governor to secret meetings allegedly held with some of the detained military officers. So these detained military officers are being kept in an undisclosed location in Abuja, and they've been going through a series of interrogation processes as to what culminated to the supposed alleged coup plot. And as it stands now, they said that Timipre Silva is not around, he's out of the country, but that they took his brother away. What does this stipulate? I mean, that man, Timipre Silva, is from the South. We don't understand what the motion will be, or the concept of being part of any alleged coup d'etat will be. But apparently, based on intelligence report, that his name was mentioned by those who supposedly were plotting this coup. Now, recall that this coup, the military has denied that those officers were being detained for anything related to a coup d'etat. So how would you analyze this?
I don't know what to say, because those who are supposed to confirm fraud as a coup have said there is nothing like that. So if there is no coup, why would people be arrested? Why would anybody be raided on the ground of coup? So it shows that I have not believed the story by Sahara Reporter yet.
Okay.
Until there's a confirmation that there's actually a coup. If it's been arrested truly, then that will confirm the report. But now he's not been arrested. We have not seen the arrest. He said his brother has been arrested in his
they took the brother. Timipre is not around.
In law, that is not normal. So
Okay.
I'm not sure they will do that. There's nothing. The law is clear. If the offense was not committed by the brother, why would the brother be arrested? Until I see the arrest of that brother, until I see arrest of anybody, or I hear about it, or it's reported majorly by major in all other major news, that's when I will believe truly what the coup. So I'm not saying whether it happened or not, but the government has said there's nothing like that. So I want to believe what the government said for now. So that and until I see the arrest of the brother or the man himself, I will not believe that.
But based on this information and reports coming up, there are speculations being raised by a cross-section of Nigerians and political analysts like yourself and theorists that this could actually have deeper political tones, possibly political undertones, which potentially involve some former office holders with ties to late ex-President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Now, the big question is this, for example, if we understand history a little bit, the relationship between the current president Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the late ex-president Muhammadu Buhari, they had supposed good relationship. We heard about how they came together, merged, how Tinubu supposedly worked out a political strategic plan which enabled Buhari come on board. Now, Tinubu has always told us that he's continuing from where his predecessor stopped, okay? And Buhari at some point had also indicated his trust and loyalty to Tinubu's administration. So is it possible that some loyalists of late Muhammadu Buhari are not comfortable with Tinubu's administration? Let's look at the political undertone to this. Now, if that is the case, why? Are there some promises made that Tinubu has not kept up with? What more could these certain individuals want? Is the agreement not still holding? If Tinubu kept mum all through the 8 years of Muhammadu Buhari's administration with the economic dilemma, the corruption, the supposed insecurity across most regions in the country, Tinubu did not criticize, Tinubu did not chastise, Tinubu did not organize a protest. So why would certain loyalists of ex-president Muhammadu Buhari want to truncate his administration for any reason through a coup d'etat?
Yes, I hope I will remember all the things I've said. There have been so many issues.
What I asked you is, we went back in time as to the relationship.
For me,
okay.
Having regard to the answer I gave earlier on, all the issue regarding coup is speculation. There is no confirmation that there was anything. So if anybody is being arrested, even if it's arrested, except he's being arrested officially, by the government is saying he's being arrested for coup, then we can discuss it. But what we're discussing now is speculation. And if I'm talking about those issues raised regarding the former president and the other and whatever, I have not seen any of them being victimized. I've not seen them being arrested. I've not seen them. Some of them recently even went to the president and they are pledging their loyalty to the president. The 650 caucus of Buhari, the former president's group.
Okay.
So, like I said, all the issues regarding the school is speculation, and we should not be engaged in speculation now, because the government has said no, there was no coup. So if the government,
but you know that sometimes when the government comes out to disregard certain reports, they disregard it, but later it turns out to be true. You remember how they disregarded the report of the former chief of army staff who passed on in the US? They told us that was not true, but it turned out, to be true. We had stories about the sale of the NNPC refinery. Later, they told us it wasn't true, but then we even heard them saying that they have it on the table. Several instances, we've heard reports like that.
I agree with you that sometimes government are not to be trusted. But in this case, I have not been informed of any arrest of anybody. We have not read in any major news or seen any newspaper regarding arrest of anybody for this coup. No family has come out to say my father and mother or brother or whatever has been arrested.
The families have been calling out, but they have not been televised.
What is it?
The families have been calling out, but they have not been televised. The families of the detained military officers who have been kept in detention for quite a while, they have been calling out, they have been speaking.
I'm not aware, I'm not aware. Like I said, I don't want to, it will amount to speculation if we continue to say this.
All right, sir.
Because there's no fact to back it up for us. It's just rumor. As far as I'm concerned, it's just speculation as far as I'm concerned. And then we should just wait and see what thereafter. Then we can be able to tell them, the government, why are you lying to us?
Okay, now let's look at the situation with the demolition of Wole. The Lagos Commissioner of Police has come out to warn Wole to never try having to organize any form of protest in Lagos State. They say anybody who does that will be tantamount to breaking rules and regulations of ensuring peace and stability in Lagos State. Wole is of the note that citizens have a right to protest, and if some certain persons have been supposedly isolated, hoodwinked, or pressured in one form or the other, it is right to call the government of the day to order. But the CP has said that there was a critical reason why those areas were demolished, and they've been able to recover quite a number of a couple of persons in there that are committing some crimes in the Lagos State government, which they consider is a security breach. So anybody who wants to use the situation for a political vendetta, they wouldn't allow it. What's your take on that, sir?
I think it will be unconstitutional for anybody to say you cannot protest. Protest is fundamental right. It's allowed under our constitution. It's your right. As long as you are not saying I want to come and cause crisis. What he said is I want to protest. So assuming that saying that it will amount to breach of peace in Lagos State, it's saying that what the what they call protest is not classified as a crime. That's what it means. So I don't believe that anybody should. You see, most time when people protest in Nigeria and it becomes an issue, it's because of the way our manner is being attended to by the government and by the police. If you see protests by those who are pro-government, you will never hear any hijack. You will never hear any intelligence report saying that it will be hijacked or saying there will be crisis or the story saying that to amount to bit of peace. They will be allowed to do it freely. They will give them the backing. If they can do the same to those who are asking questions from government, there will be peace.
Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, I would like you to listen to this. It's imperative that you hear the CP himself say that.
Every Nigerian is entitled to protection, is entitled to safety, is entitled to freedom of movement, is entitled to freedom of expression. Freedom of expression is clearly one of the essentials of democracy, which they are enjoying. But criminalities will not be condoned. Anybody that wants to hide under violent protests to truncate the peace in Lagos or to disturb the activities of other Nigerians will not be allowed. If you have any grievances against government at whatsoever level, whether at local or state or federal, there are laid down processes to do so. And you can equally approach the court and let all the judicial process be exhausted in the process of fighting for your right. But your right stops where another person begin. So you don't say because you are demolished, because we know very well that all the area demolished that are illegal, that is area where criminals are urban-ating in Lagos and causing mayhem on the innocent Nigerians. So Wole should not hide under criminalities if he's not a criminal himself, to begin to sponsor people that we have raided so many areas in Oworosoki, and we have recovered a lot of incriminating evidence, including leather weapons from those locations. So the government is right in its justification of ensuring that those areas are removed. If the people who are resident there are not that well-meaning Nigerians, as complained, they should approach the government at whatsoever level and lay their complaint. So anybody who want to hide under criminality like Wole and his group should know that they are complicit in conspiracy to commit mayhem in those locations that they want to come out, and which will not allow this to happen. So they should stay clear and respect the law.
All right, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, I'm sure you heard the Commissioner of Police for Lagos State saying that those areas that were demolished where some criminals actually hide out in that area, that unless Omoyele Wole is a criminal for him to want to protest for the Lagos State government having to secure the lives and property of its people. What's your reaction to this? Hearing from the Commissioner.
He has historically said that people that live in that area are criminals. That's what he indirectly what he's saying. And to even say protest, violent protest, where was he stated that they want to do violent protest? I am not aware that Wole and co say that they want to do violent protest. They say they want to protest. If you don't want them to block other people who are not protesting, you can guide them. You can give them that security. You can protect them. Say, look, don't go beyond this line. Let's go this way. Let's go this way. Let's not block road. You can manage it in that manner. That's how to do. That's the job of security. Not to just assume and say, just like what I was trying to avoid that time, just to assume and it will become violent or it will become this and that. It's just a way to just call a dog a bad name in order to hang it. For me, it's against the constitution for anybody to say nobody can protest on the ground that it will come to violent. How do you know? How do you know? How do you see that it's going to be so violent? Do they say, are they going to carry gun? Are they going to carry stick or whatever? Are they saying that, look, this protest we want to do, we are going to, it's violent, we want to destroy something? They didn't say so. They want to say they want to do peaceful protest. That's what they said. So if you want to come to violence, if the people who are supposed to control them want to turn it to violence, like I said earlier on, have you ever seen any pro-government protest that anybody has ever come to that anybody has ever, or the police have ever even attacked and say, look, don't do it. We don't want you to do any protest because it will amount to violence. It will amount to breach of peace. If by tomorrow a particular group say they want to do protest in favor of a particular party in power or a strong politicians or even in support of the 2027 presidential election of the Ajwaju, and they want to block a Solomon Bridge and doing so, they will give them the license to do it. They won't come. They won't tell us. They won't say they are preventing other people from going. After all, even one president is coming to Lagos, 2 hours when he will arrive, they will block us.
Yeah.
Is that not yes. who are going on their own way? Is that not likely to what the protesters are saying? Is that the same thing? So you see, we have a way in this country to just back people who are in government, and they will call will give them a bad name. They say Wole is a criminal himself. If not, that it will not be. It will not be. Have we been told that in Yanawuru, total number of criminals have been arrested and they are not facing charges of committing crime within in Yanawuru? And in those areas, how many people have been arrested in those areas for crime in the last 5 years or how many years? How many of them are in court today for us to say, look, that is where the crime is being committed, and that's why we're destroying the case? They just want to call them a bad name to hang them. It's unfortunate that we're in a country, we're in a democracy, they were not practicing democracy. We are just practicing rule of force. And that's why most times I said we are not in the democratic system. We are in a civilian rule.
Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, thank you so much. Let's look at Mr. Caleb Mutfwang, finally, the PDP governor of Plateau State, saying that he is being pressured to join the All Progressives Congress. The All Progressives Congress has come out to say that name the persons who are supposedly pressuring you to join us, that is, to join the APC. For example, Caleb Motwang says, are they afraid that he will join the APC? So what does that statement mean for him coming out to say he's been under pressure? If certain persons approach you and you say, no, I don't want to be part of your party, that's it. If you're not interested, there's no reason. Or is this a way of highlighting that there is a tendency for us not to be surprised if we hear that you're defecting to the APC?
You see, we have politicians who, whenever they want to do what they think people will criticize, they want to justify it by saying people. They will say people want me to do this, people want me to contest. If they want to go for, if they promise that I will not contest for election or I will not go for the second time, they will come back and say, my people are pressurizing me. I don't know who are these people. They will not go to it. It's just trying to find a way to justify what he wants to do. And you can see, we have people in governance, those governors who are not even strong enough to challenge the government in power. They just want it easy. That's why most of them are running to APC. They want a situation whereby they will win their election with ease. They don't want struggle. They don't want to do like what Ashwaju did while he was as a governor in Lagos State. When he was when Obasanjo wanted to, President Obasanjo did some things, he challenged it, and after at the end of the day, he was successful, and that was what gave him that powerful recognition as a strong man. But none of them today is ready to do any of those take any of those steps. They don't want to challenge anything. They just want it easy. And that's why all of them are standing on the mandate of the president. And they want to also join the mandate. They want to stand on the mandate, and that's what they want to do. It's an excuse to say, it's just to justify what he wants to do. When he's saying they are pressurizing by who? Let him name them, and let's know. But if they pressurize it, if he does not have interest, will he be forced to why are they not pressurizing to join the SDP or YPP? Why is it that what they are saying is to go join APC? Why? He wants to join the ruling party. Let him go and join the ruling party, and let him come clean and say, I want to leave PDP, I want to join the ruling party. But to say somebody is pressurizing, nobody can pressurize him. He will do what he wants to do. It's not about what people want. It's about what he wanted or what he wants to do.
Barrister Tunji, are you standing on the mandate? Don't you think it's necessary to stand on the mandate?
Which mandate?
I'm just asking. Are you standing on the mandate?
I don't know the mandate you are talking about.
Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid.
I don't know which mandate you are talking about. So I don't know where to stand.
You just mentioned standing on a mandate. That's why I asked you that. Are you also standing on the mandate?
All right, they were all standing on the mandate. I don't know the mandate they are standing on. So for me, he wants to join the mandate. He wants to stand on the existing protocol, and then he's trying to justify it by saying it's been specialized by his people. Specialized by who? Why is he not?
Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, thank you so much for taking your time to give us your insight into some of the stories read out on the World News at 6. We sincerely do appreciate your input, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That was Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. He is a political, national, and social affairs commentator. All right, and to stories outside the shores of Nigeria. Hurricane Melissa makes landfall in southwestern Jamaica as a Category 5 storm with wind speeds of 185 meters per hour. Forecasters disclosed very recently. Now, the winds are so strong and that you will not be able to stand up. Also, water is coming through so many roofs right there. In an update in the country, the Minister Desmond McKenzie urges residents to heed safety advice that this is the time not to be brave. A third of the island is experiencing power cuts. The Energy Minister, while disclosing and forecasting warning signs that the Melissa hurricane intends to get significantly worse. Well, Hurricane Melissa made landfall in Jamaica as a Category 5 hurricane, meaning the storm's eye has crossed over Jamaica's coastline and is now above the island. There it stands now. The island is actually staying on or hanging on a thread as the storm peaks. And that's a wrap on the World News at 6. My name is Esther Wachuku. Good evening. I'll see you during the evening rush at 7 o'clock to kindly stay with us.